Tiny Rebel, Lazy Boy, Lager.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. The sun is well and truly over the yard arm, and I've got a can of Tiny Rebel Lazy Boy Lager. Hellas Lager, they call it. I can't help think that these craft brewers, they use the word Hellas as some sort of selling point for lager. For me, the only true Hellas, because Hellas in German means light, and they use it as an adjective to describe their lager, which is a light colour. But I can't help thinking that, you know, craft brewers are using it as a selling point. For me, the only true Hellas is a German lager from Germany. It's like, you know, German brewers using the word light. But anyway, that's just me. Tiny Rebel. Really good brewery, based in Newport in South Wales. I've tried quite a few of their beers, not had a bad one, and I'm hoping this one ain't going to be bad either. I don't know if you know the story about Hugo Boss. I sold it in the last one, when I've done the review of Kutch, the Welsh Red Ale that they brew. But if you don't know it, I'll just explain it to you now. But like, they were basically taken to court by Hugo Boss because they used the word boss in one of their lagers, and I just thought, you know, if ever there really was the true ethics of a craft brewer, you know, taking on the big boys, you know, a fashion house, Hugo Boss, what a fucking ponce. Contrary to popular belief, he didn't design the German uniforms during World War II, but he did manufacture them. Waffen SS uniforms and Allgemeine SS uniforms, and he used slave labour as well. Nice bloke. But he took them to court, and Tiny Rebel lost, and he had to relent, and he had to stop using Hugo Boss. But that is how I actually found out about Tiny Rebel. So fuck you, Hugo Boss. I found a really good brewer. Anyway, let's get on to the beer. Okay, it's a 330ml can. It is a lager. They call it Hellas, but it's a lager really. It's 4.3% ABV. I like this about Tiny Rebel. They put all the tasting notes, colour and taste on it, which is really good. You know, they say it's a pale straw colour. The nose is light, fresh, or light and fresh. Well, that isn't really an adjective, but the taste is clean. Oh, crisp. They call it crisp. Lagers aren't crisp. They're clean, yeah, but they're smooth. They're not crisp. For me, a crisp is really dry, you know. But they call lagers crisp. Fuck off. What else do I say about it? There's a load of stuff here that I can't read. It's so tiny, and it's in probably the most unreadable font. But yeah. It's a lager. Let's get it open and let's see what is going on in the can. Now, as I say, Tiny Rebel are really good, and I've not had a bad one from them. I'm hoping this one isn't going to be an exception to the rule. On the nose, out the can. Nothing. Cannot smell a fucking thing. Now, my hay fever's been playing up a little bit today. I didn't take my antihistamines, but I've had two beers before this: the Weiss beer from Paulana and the Castile Rouge, and the aromas were coming up from there. But if I really sniff hard, it says Dodge, doesn't it? If I really sniff hard, I can get some slight lemon citrus, but let's get it into the glass. Maybe I will get some more out of the glass. Please don't let me down, Tiny Rebel. You have been fantastic so far. And as I say, I've said this before in a load of reviews, lager was frowned upon by the original Cameron members, but I think it's a great style of beer. There it is in the glass. It's got a very slight haze to it, a fair bit of carbonation. Yeah, it's a light golden straw colour. Virtually non-existent head on the nose. Oh, there's a little bit more in there now. Yeah, some lemon citrus and some malt as well. Very faint sweet malt. Let's try it and let's see what's going on. That's quite nice. It's not up there with the German stuff, I'll say that now, but that isn't bad at all. There's a fair bit of lemon citrus on that, and there is also a fair bit of hoppy bitterness, but it's very well balanced, so the two sort of counteract each other. The arse end of it, there's a little touch of biscuit malt on there, but it's not bad. And this is cold, it's come out of the fridge. I have to say that is not bad. There's no nasties in there. It doesn't taste like a macro brewed lager. It is clean, I will give them that. You know, you can tell lagers that have, you know, been mass produced and they use all kinds of nonsense in there. It's just a reasonably good lager. Yeah, nice sweet malt finish on the end of it, sort of biscuit malt on the end of it, and yeah, it's not too bad. Quite like that. Very drinkable. Slight haze to it, which I like, which presumably hasn't been filtered to within an inch of its life. I think when you filter beer, you're filtering flavour out as well, you know, but that's just me, that's my opinion. I like cloudy beers, I like cloudy lagers, especially, and of course Keller beer is the ultimate unfiltered lager, and that's really nice. This is perfectly acceptable. So what's the verdict? Yeah, not bad. Not bad, but again, you know, I sound like a broken record. I'm coming back to my old mantra about, as good as that is, in a can, in a supermarket, or available online, I've bought this because I want to taste it and I want to review it. I'd need a serious discount if I was going to buy some of this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's the competition that lager's got. I'd need a serious discount if I was going to buy. This again. I mean, I'm not averse to buying another one, but I think this was over £2 a can, and I think for 330ml, over £2 for a can of lager, I'd struggle. You could get for the same amount a pint of the Paulaner Munich Helles, and you cannot get better than that. So that's my big sort of bone of contention with craft brewed lager. But aside from that, this is perfectly acceptable. No nasties, very clean. It's not crisp, it's very smooth. I'll tell you when it's crisp. Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'll give it a 7 on its own merits as a lager. That is worth 7 out of 10. The price, the quantity, are what sort of puts me off slightly, but it puts me off with all craft beers. I'm not singling out Tiny Rebel there. It's just the volume, quality and volume. I mean, it is good. I'm not saying that, but you know, Innocent Gun do a lager, which is perfectly acceptable. It doesn't pull up any trees. It's not amazing, but you get 660ml for that, and you're paying just over £2 a bottle. Probably the same as what you get in here. And I just think, well, why would I pay the same price for 330ml as a bottle of on a par? The two are on a par, you know, for 660ml. You know, it's as the Americans would say, it's a no-brainer. But yeah, 7 out of 10. I recommend it if it's on discount or you're in the brew house and you're a lager drinker. So yeah, and remember, beer is working class champagne.